Hello everybody and welcome to the presentation for Saga. Let's go ahead and talk about what Saga is. Our story. Saga was created out of the necessity to give more control to board members and community associations, also to give more opportunities for those performing the work, allowing those working for communities to showcase their accomplishments. I really feel like that's been lacking in community association management. We're going to dive into why that's important here in just a minute. What is Saga? Saga is a marketplace connecting talent to community associations, utilizing the power of Vantica for boards to maintain their records and managers to have a clean level of expectation. So what has been the problem? Well, historically, the problem has been association losing their data and workflows, limited to no control over who is managing the account, and cost and income control. So number one, associations losing their data and workflows. Talk about how management has historically functioned. An association goes out looking for management, they hire a management company, and when they hire the management company, that comes with a lot of bells and whistles, which includes banking and software systems and all the things that it takes to run a community. And when the association decides that it's time to move on, or perhaps they get fired from an association, that means that all of the data needs to be transferred to a new management company. That new management company oftentimes uses a different software system, requires all the owners to learn a new portal. It requires the board to have the owners sign up for all new services, including banking, which means that the homeowners have to log in to a new site to set up a new ACH or find out where they send a check to a different lockbox. My point being is that it is incredibly difficult to find new management, and this is bringing a solution to that. Saga gives the management software system Vantica to the association. The association builds out its workflows and its calendar and its document storage. And in the event that they need a change of management, they log into the network and they find a manager that fits their needs and they pull them into their environment. So never having to change bank accounts, never having to change their documents, never losing their workflows, and keeping the full control with the community association. I think that is so powerful for so many reasons. Next is a limited to no control over who is managing the account. Management companies need to go out and find qualified managers, and they bring them in and they assign them to accounts. And that's, that historically has been fine. However, in this model, associations are able to log into their portal. They're able to view managers and see, we call them trophies. It's the accolades that they've received for performing roles and responsibilities in community management, and associations can choose them based on their skill sets and their education. And last is cost and income control. So on the association side, it's cost, right? It's how much are we going to get charged by a manager to manage the association. Now, perhaps you're a small community and you're willing to give up some experience for cost because your goal is to hold costs down. And then, or perhaps you're a large master plan community and you need somebody that understands lifestyle services and has that level of education. They're more expensive, but it meets the needs of the association, or a high-rise community that really needs somebody that understands high-rises. The point is that you can pick the particular manager that has the skill set to manage your homeowners association. So let's talk about that really quick. All right, we're gonna come out here and we are going to take a look at Saga. And so on the manager side, the managers are able to sign up for a portal and find which associations are currently looking for management in their area. So when the manager logs in, they're able to see on the map the communities that are currently looking for community association management. And when they sign up for a profile, the managers, oops, I hit the wrong one. I apologize. This is, let's just go through it. This is the ability for the manager to send a request for a professional to give them a trophy recommendation. So in this, we select the trophy. Let's say it's developer transitions. we say we're going to send it to Donald Duck, the trophy approver. We're going to put their email in here. We're going to write a message saying, hey, please approve me for successfully transitioning the development that you built to homeowner control. So this is essentially going to the developer saying, hey, please give me the trophy for successfully completing that, and hitting submit. That goes to the developer. They're going to get this email in their email box that asks them to give them the trophy. When the developer responds, it comes to Saga. We review that documentation to make sure somebody's not emailing a family member for a trophy. We verify that, and then it goes on the manager's profile. So on my profile here, you can see that I have 2 loan officers that have given me trophies for successfully taking loans for community associations. I've got pool management skills, and I've got developer transitions with 10 plus years of experience. And this price range here is the estimated price range that I would charge to manage a community monthly. So $1,500 to $2,000, that's really there to allow managers to be able to have some control over their value, right? If they have a lot of experience, let's just say that they have, 10 to 15, 20 years of experience, they have trophies that go on for days, and they are, $1,500 to $2,000, maybe $2,000 to $4,000 a month to manage a community, where perhaps somebody newer that just got a CMCA and is managing associations in their first year, perhaps their monthly cost is anywhere between $200 to $500. So that gives the manager the ability to determine their income, but it also gives the ability for associations to have some cost controls. And that's what I was talking about earlier. So that's on the management side. Let's go ahead and pull this over, and let's talk about what it looks like from the association side. So the association also signs up for a community, and they will get a profile. When a community signs up, they are going to be able to upload all the documentation about their community. And one of the first things that a community is going to want to do is they're going to want to come down here and onboard all of their board members. And that's going to be important here in just a second. So the association comes in and they create their community, and they onload all of their board members. And they're like, okay, let's go ahead and look for managers to manage the community. Now the maps, just like the manager side, gives the ability for the community to see that there's 11 community managers in the area, right? Now we cannot give away the exact locations of where community managers live, but we do give 11 managers in this particular area that are managing community associations. So then you can come over and you can click View Managers. And this gives the association the ability to filter managers by skills. So developer transitions, and we're a high-rise community that needs a loan. So we put those in there, and we say that we want somebody that has 10 plus years of experience. And as you can see, as more community managers are on this platform, it's going to filter them in the area, and it's going to give you the ability to open the details and say, wow, I'd really like to make a suggestion to my board members. So let's interview James. And when you hit send, earlier you invited all the board members in. Now, when you hit this send, it sends an email to all the board members saying, let's interview him. You can indicate interest that you'd like to hire James as a community manager for your association, and that connects you to, right? So I'm going to go ahead and jump back into the presentation really quick, because we're going to come back here and talk a little bit more in just a moment. All right, solutions. Saga gives managers the ability to apply for trophies, showing associations their skills, giving the association the ability to search for talent by skill set. We just went over that, and I think that is something that is going to be paramount to the success of community associations and managers, is that the associations get to choose the manager by skill set. Managers get to set their cost and negotiate their price, helping communities find the right talent, control cost, or fill specific needs of the community. And last is self-accountability. These managers are 1099. They are going to be running their own businesses. Saga is a place to connect managers with community associations and vice versa. It is not a management company. And so the managers who do this and are successful are going to be self-accountable. And I think that is going to drive a more successful relationship between manager and community association. All right, so what are some competitive advantages? Number one, direct to the source. Managers get to look at and choose communities. They get to choose the number of communities that they think that they can successfully manage. And on the flip side of that, the associations get to look at the managers directly, choose who it is that is managing their community association, and negotiate with them specifically. So it's direct to the source. Advantage number two, resistant to management company buyouts from corporate giants. That is something that has been happening in our industry. So many of the management companies are being purchased. It is consolidating the market, and it is leaving less opportunities, not only for the people managing the associations, but it's leaving less opportunities for the associations when they're looking for management. There are often times when I see an association is doing interviews for management companies, and 3 of the 5 management companies sitting in the room are all owned by one company. And I just don't think that that is fair to the market. And I think that this gives the ability for resistance to that business model and gives the boards a little bit more authority on their choice of who is managing their community. Advantage number 3. Control exists with the association and the manager. So early in this presentation, we were talking about the Vantica software system residing with the association. The managers, they learn Vantica. And so, they aren't having to learn 3 or 4 different software systems. They understand how Vantica works. And so no matter what community is operating inside of Saga, they're using Vantica, and they are going to be set up for a successful relationship. And also separation of management from accounting. I really want to hit on this. Inside of Saga, the board really gets to choose. So right now that we are building out managers to be selected by community associations, but we are also giving the ability for the association to choose an accounting firm to do the accounting for the association. So at any time the association is upset with the manager, they don't have to lose their accounting if they're happy with that. Or perhaps the manager and the association is upset with the accounting service and they agree that that needs to change, then they can make a change for those two operating independently of one another to ultimately provide a better success story for the community association. And advantage number 4 is collaborative tools by using Slack. So here's Slack, and Slack is going to be a place for board members, community managers, and the network of people that are using Saga to come and collaborate. Now, number 1, your association is going to get a Slack channel to communicate back and forth. And so when a board member decides that they're no longer going to service the board and they want to come in, they're going to have the history of the chats that have happened inside of Slack. And also, if the association or the manager decides that they don't want to be with the community anymore and there's a new manager that comes in, they're able to get in and see the history of the conversations that have happened in Slack. And I think that is very important. There's also going to be channels dedicated to board members. So if board members want to get information from each other or ask for experience, whatever the case is, they'll have a platform to come to that will give them access to other board members to talk about what's going to be best for industry practice and ultimately help them have success in their community association. So we really feel that these types of tools are going to help build a strong community. What changes? What's the difference between using traditional management and using Saga? And we're just going to go over the basics. Number one that I think is very important is that the goal of Saga is to limit email. Email is starting to have huge problems when it comes to fraud. Fraud is running rampant out there right now. There's so much going on with bad actors. When looking at how communities have historically worked, there are email accounts that are created and there are conversations that are happening. And when new board members come in, the old board members rarely transition their email address forward to the incoming board member. They normally hold on to that information, and then the new board creates a different email address and really having to start from zero. So we ask that all communication happen in Vantica. We're going to jump into why that's important here in just a little bit, and also in Slack. Just kind of did a brief demonstration of Slack and why that's important, and when new people come in, they're going to be able to go into that channel and take a look at the history to look at what has been going on in the past months or years. Next is there's no management company behind the manager in this model. Self-accountability was one of the advantages of going with Saga, and the managers are going to be accountable to themselves. They're going to also have a network within Slack and Saga of other managers to call on for additional education or help, support systems, and they're going to build a network on their own that is going to help them. But it's important for the association to understand that the buck stops with the manager. They are, in fact, running their own businesses inside of Saga, and they are 1099 employees. Sorry, not employees. They're 1099 contractors. I misspoke. Next is they are supported by a network and the association. So as I was just saying, Slack, the network, they're going to build that, and that's going to give them a level of support. So that's definitely different. And the association provides insurance to the manager. So don't get scared right now. Don't run off. The association is going to be providing a level of insurance to the manager to make sure that they're covered for some of the business decisions that they're making on behalf of the association. Those insurances are something 90% likely that the association already carries as a matter of good business practice. It's just a form that needs to be filled out to make sure it extends over the manager. And so, in fact, it shouldn't even be at an additional cost. And if it is, it should be very nominal. But definitely something that needs to be in place to make sure that this product works for the community and the manager. All right, so what does the timeline look like? So number one, the association and the manager log into sagahoa.com. It's where they go to find one another. Next is they find each other, and they move to step number two, they negotiate an agreement. The manager and the association have to finalize their terms, how many site inspections happen, how many times they're going to meet per year, on the cost, etc. Once they finalize on that, they're going to go through the onboarding and annual planning process. All right, so we're going to jump into Vantica here really quick, and we're going to talk about what that looks like and why that's going to be mission critical to the importance of the success. All right, so here is the board portal that every association is going to get. So this is a demonstration. We call it Presidential Valley. As you can see, we got George Washington up here in the corner. He is a board member for Presidential Valley. And the manager and the board are going to sit down, and they're going to do what's called the annual plan. And that's all going to happen inside of the calendar and events. All right, so the association, all homeowners get this dashboard. So from dashboard all the way down to documents, from dashboard all the way to homeowner how-tos, this is going to be visible to all homeowners. And if you're a board member, you're going to get this board action items. So inside the calendar, you can see that this is blank right now. But this is the manager side of Vantica, and both the board and the manager are going to come in, and they are going to start to build out the annual plan. So let's go to the calendar. And let's just say that the association needs to, on what month are we in? We're in August. So August 23rd. Fire inspection. And we need this to repeat annually. And we're going to put, we need for special fire service to do the annual of the community. Now, just understand that this is just for demonstration purposes, and we are going to create an action item, which is a service request, right? And we're going to mark it as board only, so that way the homeowners don't see it, because this isn't important to them, but it is important to the board. So we're going to go ahead and hit save on this side. Now, what's important about this is, as you saw that we created this as a service request, when this comes due, you can see it on board member side now. When this comes due, it's automatically going to create a ticket inside of Vantica for the manager to complete, right? So the more we fill out this annual plan, if and when the board needs to trade in a new manager, all of these tickets will kick off for that new manager. So the board does not have to recreate the wheel from step one when they decide that they want a management change. All of their data, all of their plans stay in the system and do not change, creating a very successful onboarding for anyone coming in to manage the community. Also, while I'm here, I'd like to highlight that the association's documents will all remain the same. So the more that this is populated, this is controlled by the association and the board. They don't lose all of this documentation when it transitions. Oftentimes, when management changes from one management company to the other, they will put all of the prior documents into a previous management document folder and then start to create their own, and only really putting documents such as governing documents and what else? The governing documents and maybe contracts. And what doesn't end up getting transitioned in the right folders are things like meeting minutes and past agendas. All of that ends up in a single folder that might say past management. When you go with Saga, all of this stays for the community association. In conclusion, we are just excited to bring a new approach to management where communities and managers hold the keys to their company while providing a marketplace for communities and managers to find the right fit. That's really what this is about. So we are excited to have you on board looking at Saga for either employment opportunities if you're a community manager, or for managers if you're a community association. So this is no risk. You can go ahead and you can sign up for a profile. Managers, you can start building your trophies. And associations, there's no cost to you to build a profile on your own. So just building your profile doesn't mean that you have to change your management service. It just means that you now have access to be able to see what's out there and available. You can start interviewing people if you decide to, and it just starts to build your network. So we really ask that you jump in, poke around a little bit, and let us know how we can do better. So I really appreciate your time for this brief demonstration. If you are interested in getting a one-on-one demonstration with me at any time, you can give me a call at 303-632-5519.